Cate and Jack, your characters have a great love and hate relationship. And I particularly enjoyed your insult, Cate, when you said, go braid your back hair.
I know. I think every woman has wanted to say that to every male friend at some point.
And how was it building that on-screen chemistry? And were there any insults that didn't make the cut?
The slightly more lewd ones perhaps didn't make the cut. This is a children's movie.
That's right. But I remember when she did say that one, it was so vicious. I did go out and get waxed immediately after that day.
Mm. And Eli, Jack and Cate's insults were hilarious. My particular favourite was "go braid your back hair."
Yes.
Were any of them improvised? And also, well, how exciting was it to capture their rapport on camera?
I was the greatest. I mean, when you think of Jack Black and Cate Blanchett and the movies they've made, it's almost like that old commercial where you put your chocolate in my peanut butter for Reese's, where suddenly you put them together and you go, oh yeah, it's so obvious. It's like they've been doing films together their whole life. They're so funny, and there's just genuine love and affection and respect between them. And they went for it on the insults, that nobody wanted to have the last word. So there were some great ones in the book. That's a thing from the book. And then Eric Kripke, our screenwriter, wrote some incredible ones. And then we were rehearsing, and then we came up with them. And then you'd be shooting a take, and then she'd throw in a "go braid your back hair" Yeti. And then Jack would do one, and then she would do. So each take, we just kept adding them and adding them and adding them. And the trick was just never breaking.
And building that rapport with one another, was that kind of instant?
You know what? The first day that we met and shot, we did that thing where we were tied together.
That's right.
We were strapped together in like a straitjacket built for two.
And I felt comfortable.
Yeah, it was a fun way to kick it off.
Yes.
And then we were off to the races.
And then we had to get out of it.
That's right. Well,
I was quite comfortable in that straitjacket. If I ever had to be straitjacketed in with another human being, it would be you, Jack.
That's the sweetest thing anyone's ever said to me.
People were shocked, but I think that making a children's movie for me is sort of a new way to shock, because I've kind of done everything else. But I've always wanted to make a kids movie, but something that was more like the Monty Python version of one. Or look at what Terry Gilliam did with Time Bandits, or Tim Burton, the way he did with Pee-wee's Big Adventure and Beetlejuice. And I thought of the old Spielberg movies, Raiders of the Lost Ark and E.T., and the films that Amblin made, like Poltergeist and Gremlins. And those were very, very formulative films for me. I saw those in the theater as a kid when I was 10 and 11 years old. So I wanted to make that movie that parents could take their kids to, that would get kids excited about scary movies.
Owen, congratulations on a fantastic performance.
Thank you so much.
What was it like to work with Cate and Jack? And is he as funny in real life as he is on film?
He's so amazing. They're both so amazing. And they both have kids as well. And so I went to Six Flags with Jack Black's kids. And then Cate's kids, I was just with Iggy yesterday. We had, I'm so confused about the time zone. Was it lunch or dinner?
Probably both.
All right. We had...
You had Linner. You had Dunch.
Yeah.
And how was it to work with them on
They
set?
were so much fun. They're both so nice and great people.
You have Owen Vaccaro playing the wonderfully weird Lewis. How impressed were you with his performance?
He's amazeballs.
Yeah.
I mean, I must admit, I'm always slightly terrified of child actors, but he was so smart, had the most amazing work ethic, the weirdest imagination, and I mean, he could have, particularly on the night shoots, it was like, Owen, you got to go to bed now. He would have stayed there all night, all day. He just loved it, like in a way that was he just made it fun.
Who was it that said never work with children or animals?
Or Jack Black.
Yeah, it's a famous old Hollywood saying. But the truth is, Owen's passion for putting on a show and getting up in front of a camera and making magic was infectious, and it was awesome to be collaborating with him on the set.
And also, he had such a beautiful relationship with Eli Roth, who directed the film. They had this strange shorthand language that neither of us could decode. Which was, it was a very lovely relationship.
I remember who said it was W.C. Fields, and in this case, he was definitely wrong.
Oh, and I really like the message that you should embrace your weirdness. What, if anything, did you learn from playing Lewis?
Well, I mean, to embrace your weirdness. I think everyone has definitely a weird element, and you just got to know to embrace it, and everyone will like you.
And Eli, you mentioned Steven Spielberg before, but how pleased were you when he said that you really made a true Amblin movie?
It was the phone call of a lifetime. I mean, I was like an 11-year-old kid again. I remember as a kid watching footage of him directing other kids as E.T., thinking, oh, I could be in one of his movies. I'd love to work with. He understands kids. And so I was a camp counselor and love kids and love working with kids. And so, and those Amblin movies were so important to me. And I feel like it's almost a lost art form. So to be able to help bring it back and to have the approval of the master was really one of the coolest moments of my life.
Jack, I loved it when your character said that his jamming hours was 3 a.m.
Yeah.
How much fun did you have with the saxophone?
I had a blast. I'd never played sax before this movie, but my sister is really good saxophone player, and she came to the set, and she was my my sax consultant and sax consigliere. And you'll see her name in the credits, Rachel Siegel.
Good to know.
Some of those notes were, cleared my ears.
Look, there were some stinky notes, but you gotta swing for the fences
Deliberate.
when you're going for greatness. And yeah, I think by the end of it, I started blowing some real melodies.
Totally.
Thank you.
And finally, if both of you had magical powers, what would be the first spell you'd cast?
I'd cast a spell to control whenever I could go to the bathroom or not.
I like to be able to read minds and be able to...
Yeah, but if you were reading a mind and then you're like, but I really have to go to the bathroom, but the person's like coming closer and you're like, I've got to read their mind. Oh, this is so fascinating, but I really have to go to the bathroom. Then you're not even thinking about reading minds, you just think about going to the bathroom.
Well,
But if you were like, bathroom power, gone, you're like, I could sit here for hours. Like you're in a car ride, be like, let's go, I'm fine.
Then you don't know what someone thinks about you, or what someone is wanting for lunch, or what someone is like. I think they're both worth it.
I still put bathroom. I don't care what anyone thinks about me if I know that I don't have to go to the bathroom and I'm about to get in a long car ride.
I'd either do telepathy or being able to fly. I know that's so basic, but I've always wanted to be able to do it.
If, like your characters, you had magical powers, what would you like to cast as your very first spell?
Ooh. I know I'd like one of the magical powers. I know it's such a cliche, but I would really like to fly. I'd also like to disappear. Like, if I could just disappear. I'd also like to click. Can you click?
Oh, this one is better than that. No, they're.
See, I
think
don't have it.
If I could do the one where it's like, turn off your iPad spell, that would be a great one.
Fantastic.
My
Cate
boys
Blanchett
are
and
boys
Jack
are
Black.
addicted.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Lovely to meet you both.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey,